2017 Money in the Bank is in the books, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say this. I wasn't exactly sure how to feel about this Money in the Bank. I was interested in seeing it, but I wasn't sure if I would really care that much because of how most of the show has been booked. Because, how can I explain this? Look, SmackDown does not have high-powered wrestlers. They have more mid-carders and they have a lot of jobbers. This is what we know. But could those jobbers perform well? That was a big question. Could they perform on their own without the big names with them? Like the Roman Reigns, the Seth Rollins, the Brock Lesnar's, the Dean Ambroses, all the people that's already been built up by the WWE. Could lower tier wrestlers actually get somewhere? And I'll say this, it wasn't a bad show, and they did pretty good. This show really was a good show, and I would recommend you at least doing one extra look at it. So if you saw the entire thing, take a look at it again. I wouldn't recommend to see it more than once more, because it's really not the greatest show they ever produced, but it is more than good enough to keep your attention at least near the middle to the end of the show. But let's get through this right now. Now, the only reason I'm talking about the kickoff show, and I will mention it twice, this is the first time, it will be about Mojo Rawley now going back to work with the Zack Ryder. Hype Bros are back together, and they face the Colognes. The Colognes got their asses handed to them. I wasn't surprised about this, because they're not going to let a team that just came back together get jobbed out. But it is kind of sad. You're actually letting Primo and Epico, they are the Colognes. They are actual lineage. They're both second generation wrestlers. I believe Epico is Epico is only a first generation wrestler. His cousin Primo is a second generation wrestler. But they've never been booked like they've ever been important. They never have been. They've always been given one gimmick or another. So I wasn't surprised about this. Now, opening of the show. I shouldn't talk about the opening, but it needs to be talked about. And this is about the ladder match for the women. I actually was kind of angry because I thought it should be in the middle of the show. But it's understandable. You got two ladder matches. You have to split them up. One has to be in the beginning, one has to be at the end. So as the match was going on, and believe me, I was thinking this, they made the right call. At first I was pissed, but then as the match went on, I saw how the women were really reacting to the ladders and how they had to perform. It made sense to let them be the opening. Even though the crowd did love it, it was obvious the women were more timid than the men were. And that's understandable. Look, this is the first time in history women on an international platform is doing a ladder match. There are women have done ladder matches in other promotions throughout the world. We know this. But this is the first time this is happening on an international platform in the WWE. So I think they were a little bit timid in this match. They could have been a little more aggressive. But the thing that got everyone, and me, it pissed me off, but then it made me think. They wanted to do something different with these women. So they decided to put James Ellsworth into it and inject him into it so Carmella can win. And honestly, I'd rather not see that happen. I was very pissed, and I am still pissed. But, one, Charlotte didn't win. Thank goodness for that. Becky didn't win. Thank you so much. If you're going to go there as a Christian, thank you, Jesus. I wasn't glad to see Becky Lynch because Becky is not built properly at all. Natalya was a question. You could have Natalya go up against Naomi with the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then the one I truly wanted to win was a Tamina. And I know a lot of people, including the Lex men, would say, why the fuck would you care about a Tamina? I'm sorry for the language, but people are just, why do we care about Tamina? What is she to you? Why do you keep caring about her? I see her as a potential wrestler that has not been pushed. Every time when they're about to push her, they stop it for someone else. Not because Tamina is a bad talker. Not because Tamina is a bad wrestler. Not because Tamina didn't suck enough dick like most women do. There's a lot of women in wrestling that do that. And I'm not saying Naomi does it. I'm not saying Tamina does it. I'm not even saying Natalya does it. But there have been women to do that. And you have seen everyone and their mother get that title. Only in the last year did Naomi finally get it. Because she had to work so hard. Tamina, who is in a sense way higher than Naomi because she's Jimmy Snuka's daughter, should have already had the title at least twice and has never claimed it. And that was the one I wanted to win. I truly wanted to see family versus family. A Naomi versus a Tamina. But we didn't get that. We got a Carmella. In this way, it makes sense with her character because, of course, you got James Ellsworth helping her. He goes up, gets the briefcase, drop it to her, it's over. I will say at least it wasn't the people you would expect to win. So, let's move on to the tag match. New Day versus the Usos. Oh, this was the third best match of the night for me personally. You got the Usos, who has great character, great development. You got the New Day, who just came in, who already is still incredibly popular, who still has great development. You stick them together, and you had a top-notch match. And the best thing about it, Usos didn't job. New Day didn't job. You got a count-out victory for New Day, and Usos keep their titles, and they're doing exactly what they need to do. They're going to be doing what they got to do. Day one-ish, baby. You got to do whatever you got to do. You got to get the jump on your opponent. So as heels, they're going to do what they got to do. They're going to cheat. They fought their asses out in the match. And they knew, you know what? You got three guys there. Sooner or later, Xavier was going to interject himself, which he did with that trumpet, which I loved. But it made sense for them to cheat. Now, I know a lot of people say, that's stupid, that's bullshit, that New Day should have won. Why? Why should the New Day rush their win? They just came back. Why do these two teams need to just end this quickly? For what reason do we need to end a feud? One of the problems the WWE has is that they have 50-50 booking, that's number one, and their feuds don't even last a couple of weeks. Very rarely does it last a couple of months, and it's usually with people that have no character development. No story behind them. No actual great ring performance. You got two teams that are good. Two teams who can talk. Two teams who have charisma. I want to see this stretch out for a while. I'm fine with it. Now, let's get to the other tag team match. The Fashion Popo versus the Ascension. Let me get this straight. The team that fucked up their headquarters was the Ascension. Now, mind you, the Miami Vice feel was actually kind of cool. Hearing when they did that segment after Fandango was talking on the big cell phone, and then when Tyler Breeze came out, and then they heard that the if no one doesn't know what a 56K modem sounds like, that was it. Of course, a fax machine sounds the same way because it has a 56K modem built into it. But it was such a beautiful throwback. And then you got the TV with the VCR built into it. Oh my goodness, I haven't seen one of those since a long time. Unless you go to a thrift shop or a Goodwill, you don't see them anymore. They're not produced anymore. It was a wonderful thing. Now, was the match good? It was okay. But the problem was there was no development for the Ascension. We've only seen them once in months upon months upon months. And that was only when they did something with the Fashion Police, when they were hyping themselves up in a back room somewhere. I think that was at least 2 or 3 months ago. That was the only time we've seen the Ascension. And that was the problem. The Ascension has had no build. They come out of nowhere. Nobody cares. I personally didn't care. Now, here's something I did care about. That was a huge surprise. I didn't know that was going to happen. Everyone was shocked when they came out. I am the Bennetts. I am Maria Kanellis Bennett. This is my husband, Mike Kanellis Bennett. We are the couple of the WWE, the new Lady of Professional Wrestling, which was good that she kept that. It's good to see Maria. It is good to see Mike there. Now we have something entirely different, a new dynamic. Yeah, the TNA bit was great until it got played out. But this is going to be a fresh thing. It's going to be fresh with a whole bunch of people. They have never tried this before. Maria hasn't been there for at least 7 to 8 years. So it's going to be wonderful. New blood in SmackDown, which we needed. These two are not jobbers. They're good. And I'm so glad that it happened. Now, let's see what's next on the agenda. Let's go for the women's title match. Naomi versus Lana. Oh my. I promise you, I mean what I said. If you saw my last video, I was angry because I felt Naomi was going to get the shaft, that she was going to lose by either some screwy ending or they would make her job clean. I was going to riot. Before this thing said, before the match started, I said to myself, if this was not going to be a good match with Naomi winning, I was going to freaking riot on this video. I promise you, I was going to rant. Everything else would mean nothing to me. I wouldn't care about the ladder matches. I wouldn't care about Jinder and Randy Orton. I wouldn't care about Marie and about, calm down, Mike. I wouldn't care about them. I wouldn't care. Her losing would have been my entire focus. Believe me. But in the end, at least we got a chance to really see what Lana has learned in the last 2.5 years. And to be honest, she hasn't learned a lot. I'm not against Lana. I love me Lana. Lana is one of those women you wish you could meet in real life, fall in love with them, and to live your entire life with them. Just like a Naomi. Naomi's the same way. You meet someone as beautiful as them, and I'm not talking about how damn nice their asses and tits are looking at. Just their real personalities in real life. You wish you can be with them. And I love Lana. But as a wrestler, she still shows greenness by just trying to work the match. Look, when it came down to it, she did very few holds, very few attacks. She did more of just grabbing Naomi's hair than she did actually wrestling her. Now, of course, they probably told her to do that, but it does not mean she couldn't throw in a little bit more of a performance. She looked way too green, and I do believe it's not just because she was told to act green. I believe she just plain is green. And she did do a couple of moves that was good. In the end, Naomi did tap her out. But what did we get? We got Carmella coming down to the ring with the James Ellsworth, with the lovely briefcase. No cashing in, but she made it very, very clear. I got this, baby. I got this, baby. It's probably in my face. I got this, baby. I'm coming for you. So I was alright with that. That wasn't a bad way to set that up for Naomi. I really do believe that was a pretty good setup. Mind you, Naomi letting her kick her ass a little too much was not something I enjoyed, especially when she was grabbing her hair and throwing it into the mat all that time. I was not happy about that, but it's understandable for what it was. The men's WWE World Heavyweight title match. Jinder Mahal versus Randall Keith Orton. Notoriously, the WWE does not let the wrestler who's going after a title or who is defending a title keep that title or win. They normally job at their hometown. In this case, there was no exception. Sorry for the noise, it's pretty noisy here. I did enjoy seeing all of the legends. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy seeing Sergeant Slaughter. I did enjoy seeing Bob Orton. I did enjoy seeing, I forgot the guy's name. I forgot his name because I always forget his name. For some reason, I always get his name mixed up between I think Ivan Koloff. That was his name. I loved seeing them. It was lovely to see all of them. And then you got the match itself. The one thing I was happy to see, the Singh brothers didn't interject themselves a lot. It was minimal. They really wanted to show that Jinder could actually perform. And that was my greatest problem with Jinder Mahal. They kept him being saved by the Singh brothers way too much. He has to be able to perform. If he doesn't perform, you're fucked. And he had to perform at least a bit by himself. And I do believe, and this is something I'm sure a lot of people will say, oh please, Jinder Mahal's garbage. Look, it takes two to make a match look good. Randy Orton didn't make that match as good as it was. That's the second best match of the night. The storytelling was much better than the wrestling, but the wrestling was just slightly behind it. It still told a very good story in the ring, and it was still a good story to see that Keith Orton was not going to lose in his hometown without a freaking fight. And once he slammed the Singh brothers, after they were ejected, and then they messed with his dad, and then he rose back into the ring, his wrestling career isn't over, but he sure is embarrassed that he got his ass handed to him by Jinder Mahal. I'm happy to see Jinder win. He needed to win. It had to happen. No matter how much you guys don't want to see it, you have very few wrestlers that are from the main roster that are over 10 years old in wrestling. Randy's one of them. You don't have that many wrestlers that are left that have been seasoned by the WWE. You must bring up people that are jobbers or you're going to lose everything in your company. As I said before, wrestlers must help new talent. Older wrestlers must help new talent to make the company thrive. If you don't do it, what the hell is the point of keeping the WWE open? Because how many people you got left wrestling? If you get rid of all the new talent, you got nobody. Randy Orton is one of the last ones. When he retires and John Cena retires, what you got? So be glad Jinder's being pushed. I don't care if he was a jobber before. He needed to win to grow and help himself and others. Now, the final match. The Money in the Bank briefcase. For the men. The Big Bad Wolf won. I felt there had to be two people who had to win. It had to be either AJ Styles, a very well-established wrestler that really is the one that needed to win to go up against Jinder. Or there had to be someone who is very new, but has been around long enough that he has not been pushed, he's been basically slammed, but actually has the great potential to actually make things work. And that was Baron Corbin. I felt either it was going to be Baron Corbin or it had to be AJ Styles. Before the match starts, Shinsuke gets his ass handed to him and he's sent to the back. Then you got the match yourself, which was the best match of the night. I felt that everybody did a great effort. The person that I felt should have not had as much effort was Sami Zayn. I'm sorry. Look, I don't hate Sami, but his story of being a freaking calm. As an underdog, it's garbage. He's bigger than Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, and he's bigger than Dolph Ziggler. Hell, he's almost as big as Kevin Owens. The only difference between him and Kevin Owens is Kevin Owens has got a bigger belly. That's it. It was stupid that they keep booking this guy as a underdog when he's not a small guy. Underdogs only work when you're small. I would understand the AJ Styles. I understand a Dolph Ziggler. I cannot even understand a Shinsuke Nakamura. But a Sami Zayn made no sense. Eventually, Shinsuke came back in. And I knew he was going to come back in. But I wondered if he was going to win. And I felt that by the time it was at the end, he was going to win. But then they decided to go with Baron Corbin. And I said, yes! You're trying something different, WWE. Baron Corbin's been around for almost 3 years. He's done a good job on the roster. And he could do something good. He can. Don't you book him properly and let him start understanding that now he can't just do a performance in the ring. He has to bring up his mic skills and his character and charisma. He needs to work on it now. Morgan, if you're watching this, our buddy, he won. We always talked about him. You always talked about him with me. And you know I always thought that he had great potential. Now he's a Money in the Bank winner. He's a Money in the Bank winner. He's in the Money in the Bank winner. Every time I said that, he's in my face. Good. Great. I'm very happy about this, and it's the best booking they could have done. Now, I'm sure everyone else is not going to feel the same. They'll say it's a stupid booking. But give me a reason why. Tell me. Tell me below why. So I hope you enjoyed this Money in the Bank 2017. Please give me a comment below. Also, click the bell next to the subscription, because I've been hearing that a lot of people don't get notifications even though they're subscribed. So if you haven't done it, click my subscription and then click the notification bell next to it so you can get up-to-date videos. I don't like saying stuff like that because I feel like it don't make me feel right to be doing that. But if it's the only way you're going to know, because I'm sure a lot of people who have been watching me probably think I stopped doing it, just take a look. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!